is related to another request from a subscriber, and we have to write a program to find if a key is present in a dictionary. WAP is short for write a program. Okay, and students often find dictionaries very perplexing, so I'll explain a few methods that you can use with dictionaries, and you will find them when you're dealing with other programs related to dictionary. You can use these methods. Okay, now I don't know how you're gonna use them. You have to see where you can use that specific method, but yes, I would take this opportunity. I'm actually gonna use this program to introduce other certain a few methods, related to dictionary. And to find a key in a dictionary, whether key is present in a dictionary, there are different ways of doing it. And I'm going to explain all of these ways. We can do it with a for loop, an if statement, and with a function as well. So first, let's create a dictionary, and I've been creating very simple dictionaries so far. So this time I wanted to create this dictionary. Usually, I create like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I take integer values, but today I want to take mixed values. So I'm going to take strings. That's why I'm using quotation marks, single quotes, right? And then key 2. Let's say this is value is again a string, and then key 3, and value is an integer. Okay, so we have this key, this dictionary. So the first method that I want you to know is, and every time you want to access a certain method, you should know that, like we have this items method. Okay, and every time you want to access, you want to use a certain method, that you will see this automatically. This statement will pop up, this message, so it will tell you about that method. So items method is used to provide a view on dictionary's items. So if I call this method using name of the dictionary D, you see it will return a list, and this list is populated. This list contains all the tuples. Tuples are key value pairs. So these are the key value pairs of this dictionary. Okay, similarly we have, if you only want to access the keys, we have keys method. Okay, it will give you a view on D's keys. D is your dictionary, so all the keys, key 1, key 2, and key 3. This is a list now, because we are not dealing with pairs. We only want to see the keys, so keys method. Then if you want to check the values only, we have values method. So all the values, 1 to 5, hello, 645, right? And often when we want to access a specific value from the dictionary, we make use of particular key, right? This is how we do it. D and then index. In the index, we'll write name of the key. Now this shows an error because this is a string. This key is a string. So we have to write it in quotes. Okay, because usually earlier when I was creating dictionaries, I was using integers as keys. So that was pretty easy. You can just write 1, 2, 3 or whatever number it is. But here you have a string, so you have to write it like this, and then name of the key is key 1. So 125. But then we also have another method, get method, d.get, and here you can write name of the key. So get and then name of the key. I'm sorry. D.get and then key 1. Right. Okay. So these are a few methods in dictionary that you can use. Now let's have a look at, let's create the program. So I'll take this dictionary Mm, let's see if I can use another window. So I'm actually going to create a file. So we'll have this dictionary. First thing first, so first we have using a for loop. Now you already know that you can use a for loop to print all the values of a key. And if I say for I in D, and here I'll say print D I, okay. Usually when we use a range here, so if I say for, let's say I have this range for I in range 1 to 10, we know that value of I will range from 1 to 9, right? So I is taking on all these values. But when you are using dictionary, it does not deal with values. It will only deal with keys. So when I say for I in D, it means value of I will change as per the keys. So that's why I'm writing print PI, because value of I first it will be key 1, then key 2, then key 3. So this is how it goes with dictionary. Okay. So we want user to enter a key value, and then we'll check if this key is present in the dictionary or not. And since we already know that all the keys are strings, will not make it that complicated. So I'm going to use input method, and I don't have to use int or anything because I already know all these keys are strings. So enter the key. Okay, so key is now in A. Now for I in D, so I, value of I will change from key 1 to key 3. Okay, and I want to check if A, value that user entered, is part of D, and all the keys that I'm actually want to match are going to be part of this A, right? So I'm going to use if statement here. So if I equals to A, we can write, if it value is there, we can write key is there. Right? Let me save it. Save to, I'll keep it on desktop. Okay, now let me run it. So it says enter key, so key 1, key is there. All right. I'll run it again. Enter key, let's say I'm entering key 4. It does not say anything. So it should say key is not there, right? Now understand this, this thing, because this is going to be, I think you're going to find it a little, like I said, perplexing. So we can use else here, else print key is not there, right? But since it's going to, and obviously dictionaries items are not on it, but we have keys here. So if I say key 3, if I, let's say, give key 3, now it really depends how machine is working, how it is going to work. Okay, it says key is not there, key is not there, then it says key is there, because control goes to key 1. So it says I equals to A. No, this condition is false. So it goes to else. Key is not there. Then it goes to key 2. Yeah, it's not there. Then it finds key 3. So it says yes, it's there. Okay. So if you use the opposite statement, it's always going to create this problem, right? So what you can do is, instead of using these statements here, you can And this is where things get a little tricky. You have to use your logic, your own logic here. I'm going to use a variable b with value 0. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, if this a is in D, so if the value of I matches with A, I'm going to increment the value of B. Okay. And if I do that, I don't really need to use this else statement. So if let's say I give key 3, let's say user provides key 3, it will go to key 1, so value does not match, right? And then loop will value of I. In the second iteration, value of I will be key 2. Value, does that value match? No, it doesn't match. Okay, B is still 0. Then in the third iteration, key 3. So value will match, B equals to B plus 1. So now value of B is more than 0, right? Now it comes out of the loop, right? So here I can say if value of B is greater than 0, that means a match was found. Now again, you can use your own logic here. You can use a positive value, negative value, whatever value you want to use for the positive statement that yes, key is there. Okay, so I'm using this statement. I'm going to use this logic that if value of B is more than 0, it means we found a match. So key is there, right? And similarly, let's say user provides value key 5. Okay, now key 5 doesn't exist here. So control will go to, in the first iteration, control goes to key 1. So value is not found because we are looking for key 5. So it goes to key 1, value is not found. This will not be true. So B is 0. It goes to, for second iteration, it goes to key 2. Again, there is no match. So if I equals to A, this condition is false. B equals to B plus 1 will not happen. So B equals to 0. Then it goes to key 3. Again, we are looking for key 5. There is no match. That means value of B will never be incremented. So if value gets incremented, means it is greater than 0, key is there, else you can print key is not there. Okay, you can save it. Let's run it. So first I'm going to give key 1. It says key is there. Now I'm gonna run it again and I'm going to give key 5. It says key is not there. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now I told you I'll show 3 ways to do the program. So this is the first one, using a for loop. If it's a very simple dictionary that you're working with, you don't have to write all these statements. You can so we have this D here using, so second is why this is not opening, using an if statement. So this is like, if it's a very simple program. What you have to do there is, again, input, enter the key. So you need to enter the key. Let's say I'm going to say key 2, right? So if A in D, this is another way of doing it. If A in D, print key is there. That's it. Okay. So let's modify this one. I don't really want to modify it. So save to, yeah, let me use this one. And I don't want to actually provide comments here. Otherwise, I could have used comments. I can use comments and do all that. So A equals to input, enter the key, right? If A in D, print key is there, else not there. I'm gonna save it and run it. Enter the key. So key 1, key is there, and let's say key 6, key is not there. Okay, this is the simplest method using if statement, right? Because I already told you, when you are using for I in D or for I in certain range, right? You are actually, with dictionary specifically, you are actually targeting the keys. Okay, so if you're already targeting the keys, you don't have to use all those statements. You can just write if A in D, print the value. That's it. Okay, now another way, third, using a function. I'd rather say, because we use method, so using a method. Okay, so how do you do that? Let me create another file. Okay, we have the same dictionary. Now what you can do is, you can actually, the best thing is to always create a function first. So I'm going to create a function or a method, and I'm going to name it find key. And if you see, K is capital here, F is small here. So these are certain conventions. It makes it looks tidy, I would say. And you can easily understand. If I say find key, this is like, you know, it's really hard to make something out of it, right? So that's why I'm using small caps, capital letter here, and this looks fine. We'll talk about these naming conventions in some other video. So we are going to create a method now. Now, when you're creating a method, you already know that user will provide certain value and you are going to match that value with all the keys of dictionary, right? So when you're creating a method, you have to receive that value somewhere. So we have these parameters here. So let's say this is X, right? And obviously we are going to have a dictionary where we are going to compare all the keys with this value. So for I in D, if X equals to I, we're gonna say print key is there, right? Or instead, because it's going to create the same problem, so what you can do is, you can use these statements. Where is it? Right? You can say for X in D. right? This is your function definition, method definition, and then we can provide dictionary here. This is your D. Then let's say user provides some input, enter the key, so A. Now you need to call this method, so find key, and parameter that we're passing is A, so A. I'm gonna save it as function 1, run it, key 1, key is there, okay? And instead of using this if A in D and all of that, you can also use this in the function, right? So we covered, I showed you how you can use a for loop to find if a key is present in a dictionary, how you can use an if statement, just an if statement, the simplest one. And then if you're using a method, you can combine these two. So just using a method meaning you just need to define a method, okay? And then the logic inside, the code inside will either be with a for loop or with an if statement, okay? Because usually we are asked to create a method when this portion, this is the method, right? So you see this whole thing will be kept hidden. So every time user wants to find a key, user will have to use only these 3 statements: provide a dictionary, ask the user to enter the key, and then call the method find key. User just need to call this method find key, that's it. And when this method is called, in the background this definition is provided, okay? So these are the 3 ways, all 3 ways. You can use any of these, right, based on your requirement. And yeah, if it made sense, let me know. If there is any doubt, let me know that as well. I'll see you in the next video lecture. Till then, take care.